America used to own the car game. From the rumble of Detroit muscle to the roar of the F-150, cars weren't just transportation. They were identity, freedom, power, pride. But here's the shocker. While the US was polishing chrome and arguing over gas prices, China was quietly building the future. And now, that future is electric, fast, and terrifyingly cheap. China isn't just selling cars, they're selling a vision. Ultra-modern design, 600-mile ranges, AI co-pilots, and tech that makes even Teslas look old. And they're doing it at scale that's making Washington nervous. Because, let's be honest, when a BYD Seal can outpace a Mustang Mach-E and undercut it by 15 grand, you've got a problem. The question is, can America actually stop China's EV takeover? Or are we watching the auto empire that built the 20th century crumble in the 21st? Stick around, because once you see how China pulled this off, you'll realize this isn't just about cars. It's about control, technology, and the future of who gets to drive it. Make sure to hit subscribe and drop a comment, because by the end of this video, you might just rethink what made in China really means. How America lost its lead. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 2008. Gas prices are through the roof, the economy's crashing, and the hottest thing in California isn't Hollywood. It's a tiny startup called Tesla. Tesla promised to change everything, and for a while, it did. The Roadster shocked the world, the Model S became a status symbol, and Elon Musk turned from internet meme to global icon. America had the EV crown, at least for a moment. But here's where things went off the rails. While America was celebrating Tesla's success, China was mass-producing the future. They weren't chasing hype, they were building infrastructure, battery factories, gigantic EV cities, government incentives that made EV ownership a no-brainer. By the time US automakers started taking EVs seriously, China already had a 10-year head start. Ford and GM were busy making commercials about toughness and horsepower. Meanwhile, BYD was making batteries for everyone, including Tesla. That's right, the same Chinese companies America laughed off as cheap copycats now power the world's most advanced EVs. And when the US finally decided to catch up, China had already locked down the entire supply chain, from lithium to nickel, cobalt to rare earths. They own the mines, the refineries, the factories. America, we had dealerships, lawsuits, and political debates about whether EVs were killing real cars. Spoiler, they weren't. They were just making them smarter, faster, and quieter. It's like one country built the future and the other built excuses. But here's where things get interesting. Because it wasn't just about technology. China didn't just copy Western cars. They redefined what a car is. China's secret weapon: tech, design, and price. Okay, let's be honest. 10 years ago, when someone said Chinese car, you probably pictured something that looked like a melted Toyota with fake leather and a name no one could pronounce. But not anymore. Because today, Chinese EVs don't just compete, they dominate. We're talking about designs that make European luxury brands nervous, and tech that makes Silicon Valley look, well, kinda lazy. Take BYD, for example. The company everyone thought was just another battery maker. Now it's the world's biggest EV brand, outselling Tesla globally. Their cars? Sleek, futuristic, packed with luxury. The BYD Seal looks like a baby Porsche Taycan, but it's faster off the line and costs less than a base Model 3. Then there's Neo, the Apple of EVs. They don't just sell you a car, they sell you an experience. Heated massage seats, voice assistants that talk back, and battery swap stations that change your car's battery in 3 minutes. Yeah, while Americans wait 40 minutes at a supercharger, a Neo owner is already back on the highway sipping coffee. And Zeekr. Oh man, Zeekr 001 is basically a spaceship on wheels. It's got over 600 horsepower, 700 kilometers of range, and interior's nicer than a BMW i7. You open the door and the car greets you with ambient lights, ventilated seats, and a 15-inch floating display that makes Teslas look like iPads from 2015. Meanwhile, American automakers are still trying to figure out how to update their infotainment screens from stopping freezing. But here's the craziest part. These cars are cheap, like shockingly cheap. A BYD Dolphin, fully electric, stylish, well-built, sells for under $16,000 in China. That's less than a used Honda Civic. So how are they doing this? 2 words: vertical integration. China owns the battery supply chain, the raw materials, and the factories all in one ecosystem. BYD literally makes everything in-house, from the chips to the seats. It's like Apple on wheels. Meanwhile, American automakers are stuck buying parts from 400 different suppliers and hoping nothing gets delayed at the port. Guess which strategy wins? And here's the real game changer: the battery. BYD's Blade battery and CATL's new Qilin packs aren't just safer, they're more efficient, charge faster, and cost less to make. Some are even pushing 1,000 kilometers of range. That's right, double what most American EVs can do. So while the West argues about subsidies and union jobs, China's just building better cars, faster, cheaper, and smarter. And this isn't happening somewhere far away. Europe's already flooded with Chinese EVs. BYD, NIO, and XPeng are setting up showrooms in Germany, France, and the UK. And guess what? They're selling out. The only place that's still pretending it's not happening is the United States. Why America can't fight back? Here's the uncomfortable truth. America didn't lose the EV war because of China's brilliance. It lost it because of its own arrogance. For decades, US automakers were printing money selling trucks and SUVs with chrome grills and built tough ads. They didn't want change. They didn't need change. And when EVs showed up, they laughed. Electric cars? Cute. Now get out of the way. I've got a V8 to sell. But while Ford and GM were busy milking their gas-powered cash cows, China was investing billions into batteries, AI, and charging networks. They didn't just plan for the future, they built the future. Meanwhile, in the US, every EV decision had to survive a maze of lobbying, regulations, and politics. One side screaming EVs are the future, the other yelling they're killing our jobs. And guess who wins when you fight yourself? The competitor watching from across the ocean. China doesn't have those debates. They just decide. And when Beijing says we're going electric, the entire nation shifts gears overnight. In America, we argue over EV tax credits should include union-made cars. In China, they build 10 new EV factories in the time we take to pass one bill. Efficiency, not exactly America's strong suit lately. And then there's the price war. Chinese EVs are so cheap because their government wants them to win. Massive subsidies, free land, low-interest loans. The works. They're not playing to make profits. They're playing to take over the global market. American automakers, they're fighting to please Wall Street every quarter. Forget long-term strategy, it's all about stock prices, not superchargers. And then there's this. Most of the world's battery materials, lithium, cobalt, and nickel, all go through China's hands at some stage. Even if an American EV rolls off a fused factory line, there's a pretty good chance it's running on a Chinese battery. So when politicians talk about energy independence, it's kind of like bragging about your home-cooked meal when you bought all the ingredients from your rival's grocery store. That's the real problem. China built an ecosystem. America built a market. And those two things are not the same. Because markets chase profits, ecosystems chase dominance. And right now, dominance is winning. But what if, just maybe, America still has one card left? Because as fast as China's rising, there's one thing they still haven't mastered, and it might be the key to turning this whole war around. We'll get to that in the next part. America's only hope, the comeback plan. All right, let's be fair. America's not completely out of the race. Not yet. Because if there's one thing history's taught us, it's that the US doesn't go down quietly. From the moon landing to Silicon Valley, when America finally decides to compete, it goes all in. And maybe, just maybe, that's what's happening right now. Let's start with the obvious. Tesla. Say what you will about Elon Musk, the guy built an empire that forced the entire auto industry to wake up. Tesla is still America's ace card, constantly innovating from 4680 batteries to full self-driving. And now they're expanding gigafactories from Texas to Mexico, scaling like never before, while some automakers are still trying to figure out how to update their software without bricking the car. Then there's Lucid, the luxury underdog. Their Air sedan can hit over 500 miles of range, outpacing anything out of China or Europe. Yeah, it's expensive, but it proves one thing. The US can build world-class EVs when it actually tries. Rivian is another bright spot. They didn't chase sedans, they went straight for America's sweet spot, trucks and adventure.
Their R1T pickup isn't just cool, it's rugged, techy, and very American. And with partnerships with Amazon and massive new plants in Georgia, Rivian is in it for the long haul. But here's the thing. Even with Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid leading the charge, it's not enough. Not yet.
Because while America builds a few great EVs, China's building entire ecosystems. Battery plants, shipping ports, charging networks, recycling centers, the whole chain. That's what America has to match. Not just better cars, but better systems. And maybe that's finally starting to happen. The Inflation Reduction Act, love it or hate it, is pushing companies to bring battery production back home. Gigafactories are popping up across the US. Ford's investing billions in solid-state battery tech. GM's Ultium platform is scaling fast. But make no mistake, this isn't a sprint. It's a marathon that started a decade ago, and America's running from behind. The question isn't, can America stop China's EV takeover? It's, can America reinvent itself fast enough to matter? Because the EV race isn't just about cars, it's about control of the next industrial era. Whoever wins the EV war controls energy, data, and mobility for the next century. And sure, China's ahead right now, but America's story has never been about starting first. It's about finishing strong. So yeah, China might be dominating today, but the next Tesla, the next big disruption, it could be cooking in some garage right now, just like it did 20 years ago. And that's the wild part. You never count the US out, because if there's one thing stronger than China's battery supply chain, it's America's ability to make a comeback. If you made it this far, you're a real car enthusiast, and you just watched one of the biggest global power shifts happening right now. So hit subscribe, drop a comment with your take. Do you think America can actually catch up, or is China's EV empire too far ahead? Either way, buckle up, because the future of cars is about to get very interesting.